call a brainstorming sesh. I actually got the idea from Lynn herself. In fact, she's doing one later this evening for her own business. But for us to kind of put our heads together based on various industries or niches that you are in, and then we will let you know how you can get started with video content creation, specifically with live video. And, this is the opportunity for you all to let us know what niche or industry that you're in so that we can instantly just fire off what it is that you could possibly utilize. Now, Lynn, I did do this on Instagram, and some people did answer my, Q&A sticker that they have on Instagram.
Well,
And
while you're looking those up, can I chat for a second
of
on this
course,
topic?
yeah.
So while you're looking those up, I shop online a lot. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, I've not made a secret out of the fact that I'm an introvert. I actually went to a store the other day in the city on a Saturday in December. Big mistake for an introvert. The traffic and parking alone, I was like, why did I even come here? But I did. I went in and I did what I needed to do. But I prefer to shop online. But the second reason is because I live in the middle of nowhere. So it's 2 hours round trip for me to go to the nearest major store, right? And so the fact that I shop online a lot is I'll tell you the things that hook me when it comes to converting me, and that is video. And so, for example, two of the websites where I shop have gotten so many more conversions out of me in the last year or so because they started using actual video of the product. So video demos are
Mm-hmm.
huge for conversions. So let's say, for example, when I'm on 6pm.com, they'll have like a pair of shoes I like, and there'll be all four angles of them. You can see every angle of them in photos, but I'm still not sure what they look like on your feet. But now they start having videos of those shoes and somebody walking in them. And it has made all the difference in what I haven't bought and haven't had to return and what I have bought. It's increased my conversions dramatically. Fabletics has started doing the same thing recently. And there was a coat on there. It's $80 for just a regular, like, casual jacket. So I was torn because $80 for something I'm going to throw on and wear around town is, different than $80 for something I'm going to like wear and love. So it's just kind of a throw on jacket, but it looked and the reviews were good and it almost had me sold, but they started adding videos and the videos are what had me mark off all the other ones I didn't want and decide on, yes, that's worth every bit of $80. I want that jacket. So here's the thing though, that I'm telling you, I was on those sites actively shopping and the videos converted me or helped me make a buying decision. But if I wasn't on those sites, they would never be in front of me to make that sale. So when you use social media to do video marketing and product demos, and especially when you use live video because it alerts everyone and you get a lot more reach and attention, but when you use video to do product demos, your conversions will skyrocket in any niche because people like to see it, feel it, experience it. That's why they like to shop online, but it's not always practical. So in order for you to get those internet conversions, you absolutely must do some video demos of whatever it is. And it could be screen sharing if it's an app. If it's a software, it can be screen sharing demos, but video makes all the difference in the world. The other thing, too, that I want to say is like getting that video in front of people. That's where social media and social marketing comes in and where live video trumps every other kind of post type. Even, native video, live video trumps native video. But even if you're just going to do anything at all in your niche, do a demo of whatever it is you offer. Let's say you offer consulting or ghostwriting. How in the world do you demonstrate that? Plenty of ways. There are plenty of ways, I promise you. And that's what's going to make you stand apart and what's going to increase your conversions over anyone else because most people aren't willing to pull the trigger or aren't willing to do the extra work to create the video demos for what they do. There was another example recently. That kind of, like if you want to have some examples of things I've ordered, paid for online, it's been dog training. And it was because of the amount of, like information and demonstrations on his Facebook page. I actually hired someone off Instagram to, like for a kayaking trip, for a waterfall tour. And it was based on, the videos and the stories and things that he shared on Instagram. And the fact that he went out of his way to do what I said in our last video as far as that, social networking, like follow the hashtags, found the people in the area that like waterfalls. That's me, and so I became aware of him, but it was his videos and photos and his demonstrations of here's the service that I offer that sold me. Now, here's the thing. Here's the cool thing. He charged a certain amount. I asked, how much, and he told me how much. So after the trip, I paid him double, and then I went home and sent him like double more plus. So it was 4.5 times what his asking price was. The experience was so great. And then I shared videos and photos. So more people contacted him, to hire him because it was such an amazing experience. So then you have social proof in addition to that. So if you can't, for some reason, create demo videos, let's say, for example, that...
Well, before we get into that, let's tackle some questions, because questions are coming in right now, and then we'll get back to that. But, I mean, that was great information, and you're right, like... Especially in this day and age, e-commerce is doing a lot. It's up for the holidays. And for me, when I'm going through my Instagram feed or story feed and I see a demonstration of something, I'm like, I either bookmark it saying to buy later, or I'll just buy then and there. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Lynn, because for sure, demo videos, there's nothing more powerful than that, especially when you have a physical product.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sells products to me that I didn't even know I needed.
Right, exactly. There you go. Say that again, Lynn. Say that again, because that's exactly what happens to me. Say that again.
It sells products to me I didn't even know I needed. So one of my keto friends, she's always beautiful, right? And she got on Instagram Live, on IGTV or on Instagram Live, I can't remember which, and she showed how she put her makeup on, and I was like, oh, she looks so normal in everyday life. And then she put her makeup on, and it was like, I need that mascara.
Right.
Like now, yesterday. It's just so great to see an actual demonstration of something versus the finished product. And that's where a lot of people are not going the extra mile, and you can do that and stand apart from everyone in your niche, no matter what your product is, whether it's a physical product, a digital product, a service, or whatever. So let's jump into those questions.
Right, sure. So actually, you're familiar with Natalie, who lives here, and she's in her industry or niche is pediatric sleep. So from me knowing Natalie personally, she helps babies with sleeping, because we all know with newborns and stuff, sleeping can be a challenge for some of those newborns out there. And so her question is, or rather telling us, pediatric sleep, what are some live streams that we can share with her and brainstorm that would work instantly for her?
So that's a really great question. I love Natalie. Hi, Natalie. We've and I love the work that she does. Like, it amazes me how good she is at it. But I can see why. She has a very calming spirit about her. Anyway, so the thing about that is, like, whether or not you have permission for their baby, for someone else's baby that you're demonstrating to be on video. So that's a big thing. If you do have that permission, using a live baby is great, like for your demonstration or what have you. The thing is you don't ever know what babies are going to do. It'd be the same, with dog training, though, but that could be the fun part about it. Then what do you do if this happens? So number one, when you are working with someone else's children, pets, or someone else's anything, is to get permission.
Right.
Number one. Number two is that may or may not be easy to do, and it may not be something you want to do, in which case you use a baby doll.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
Yeah. And they have really nice ones now compared to the stuff I had in the 70s. But they have really nice ones now. But you use a baby doll and you demonstrate various techniques that you use, or what have you. And, you tell them, always have that call to action. Of course, Monique has scripts that she can link to and give you, as far as, how to intro, deliver the content, and how to, include the call to action at the end so that it's very good flow and very conversational. But basically that you say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you today. And then you demonstrate this thing, and then you let them know how they can contact you if they would like a consultation, or, if they want to talk to you, or whatever it is you most want them to do. But I would absolutely demonstrate that, because parents are frustrated. And it's one of those things, again, where in my case, I had a child with a sleeping problem. He's 28 now. I think he probably still has sleeping problems, but it's not my problem anymore. Anyway, when he was a child, slept 10 minutes at a time, and otherwise screamed bloody murder 24 hours a day, like you were poking him with something. Like I undressed him and dressed him a million times, trying to find out what was he screaming about, like he would finally fall asleep, and 10 minutes later he'd be screaming his head off. At that point in my life, I would have loved to have come across a video that gave me just something to try. And that person, Natalie, would have become my new favorite person on the freaking planet. Okay, parenting is hard stuff. So you have a primed market. Mm-hmm. They are sleep deprived. They are frustrated. They feel parent guilt. They're having all of these different emotions. And so you want to use those emotional triggers. Yeah. You want to talk about their frustration. You want to talk about that parent guilt, and you want to say it's not your fault. There's just some little techniques I've learned over X number of years. Then you throw your credentials in there, conversationally or what have you, and they will be your best friends. Yeah. They will look for you. They will want everything from you. They will want to hire you if they can. You can offer video consultations to people who are not in your local area that you can't hands-on work with them and their child. I actually did that with the dog trainer. So I found the dog trainer online, and it wasn't feasibly possible, location-wise, for him to come and work with my dogs. Mm-hmm. So we did a virtual session. He said, I've never done this before. I said, don't worry about it. I do this kind of stuff all the time. I just need your help, And it was great. It was fabulous. And I paid his full price. Awesome. As if he had, come in person and worked, hands-on with my Danes. So that, I think, would be fabulous for Natalie.
I love those suggestions, and thank you for sharing them. And those of you guys who are watching this live or on the replay, tell us what niche that you're in. If you're wondering, how do I get started with video, live video specifically, and especially if you feel like it can't work for you, let us know what niche you are in. Lynn and I are really great at brainstorming, and for me, I strongly believe that live video can literally work for anybody. It's just a matter of putting on a creative hat. So don't be shy, guys. Right now we're going over pediatric sleep, which is a very unique niche. And also what I would like to add, in addition to what Lynn just suggested to you, Natalie, is to get as many video testimonials as possible, even if it's just you going live and interviewing that person as well, especially if that person doesn't feel comfortable. But video testimonials are, if not the most powerful type of video any business can have, and you cannot have too many of a video testimonial. And so the mere fact, because this is such a distinct niche and is very small, even though there's a lot of people who are having babies, and I'm sure a lot of people who have baby issues, but specifically for sleep, interviewing your clients about how you've worked with their children, because we all know working with children or babies is a very sensitive topic, or safety or trust issues. But if you have parents or new parents or whatnot, grandparents even, talking about how you work with their children, whether it's virtually or in person, I think that will help you tremendously as far as getting new business, doing the word of mouth, digital word of mouth for you, and getting new leads for sure.
I like that. That's very good, Monique. And the other thing I would add to that is this: consider your biggest hurdles in your business. Every single problem presents a potential huge opportunity. So one of the hurdles I would see, as a parent myself who struggled, with my children, is number one, you're embarrassed that you're having that problem. Because if Because if your child is having a problem, it's your fault. That's just parenting 101. The second problem is family members may not be supportive of getting help because they may blame you, which is even worse than parent guilt, you know. And so when you're being like, let's say, for example, the husband is not okay with spending the money or is not okay with you seeking help, even like just you should handle this. You should, you know, be a good mother, blah, blah, blah. This is real life stuff, unfortunately. And this may be one of the hurdles that you experience. You'll know better, Natalie, than we will. But whatever hurdles you experience with closing that sale, consider the privacy you can offer that mom to do a virtual consultation in her home, you know, on her hours or what have you. I mean, like over the internet, like over video. Again, using video as a platform, you know, for your business. But I would highly recommend that you consider how you can use video and how you can use that medium to overcome any problem or any hurdle you experience with conversions. Because like I said, you know, that was what I learned from and did with the dog trainer in a virtual session was invaluable to my life as a dog mom too. So
I love it. I love it. I'm trying to see if there's any more questions coming in, but in the meantime, as I'm searching for that, um, I would love for us, Lynn, to kind of recap because you know we've done this before.
yeah.
And I see Anika says, "Hi, ladies. Hey, how's it going? I'm in different areas." Well, just give us a suggestion as to one of the areas that you're in, Anika, and then you know we'll answer accordingly. But you know, this is not our first rodeo of doing this type of live stream, which is why we love doing them because they tend to do well. Um, but let's like kind of go over some general stuff, right? So I know, Lynn, you talked about before, like FAQs, like creating content around commonly asked questions, frequently asked questions, that people come to you for problems or solutions, and creating content around that and going live about that. And especially like I kind of want to challenge people who are watching this, like as soon as someone asks you a question, go live and just answer it and be like, here you go, and then you can post it and utilize it for everything.
Yeah, actually, I have a really good example in my own niche that I'm about to go live about.
Okay.
So I posted just a little infographic thing that was kind of it was like a fill in the blank infographic. So it said something, 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 and then there's a blank. And it did really, really well in my Facebook group. Like it's got hundreds, if not over 1,000 comments.
Mm-hmm.
The answers literally like kill my guts. I mean, they make me want to cry. So going live is going to be really hard. It's a very emotional topic. I didn't realize like how deep the answers were going to get. But it's like, wow, again, like I didn't realize the depth of the problem people were experiencing with this one particular thing. And so going live and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, you know, other people's answers from this one thing in a Facebook group. It doesn't even have to be your group. You know, it could be
Right.
something you saw in my group, for example, and you could go live on your page and say, I'm reading this in another group, you know, I'll tell you what group it is, but I'm reading this in another group and it is killing me. So I want to talk about this. And you just discuss it. So I'm going to go live and say, you know, here was the question, and I just want to read some of the answers to you. I'm already going to tear up just thinking about it. And then I want to address those because, you know, like it needs to be, no matter how many times I address it in that thread in my group, it's like it's getting ignored. You know, it's like the text is not enough. And so I need to get on video and portray the feeling behind it because it's deep and really talk about solutions to that problem or those problems. So that's one example. Another thing that you can do is you do take the questions people ask you and get on and go live. That's easy if people are asking you questions or even responding to anything you post. But most people out there are struggling with that. They're not having any interaction or engagement. So they're like, well, where am I supposed to get these questions from? Like I said, other people's groups. The other thing, too, old school forums. Now, I know people don't use forums anymore, but they are still out there, and they are indexed in Google. So if you go to Google and you search forum keto or forum, you know, baby sleep or forum newborns, you know, or whatever your niche is, like forum home interior, there's tons of threads. You want to look for two things: the threads with the most views and the threads with the most replies. And I'll tell you why. You can look at the thread with the most views and it can have a goose egg, 0 replies. But whatever the subject line was is what got people's attention and made them click it and view it, even if they didn't respond. So that is a hot topic. It got people's attention. So look for that. The third thing I would recommend is you go to answerthepublic.com, free and fun, and you just type in a general keyword or you type in something really specific, and it's going to give you a graph. And you can click over to a list form, which is much easier for me, so I'm not turning my head all over the place. And it will give you every question under the sun anybody wants to know about that topic.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Yeah, what Lynn just shared with you, and even with I said in regards to Natalie's question with video testimonials, I feel like are very foundational pieces where you can't go wrong, no matter what industry that you're in. So that's why I wanted to kind of go over that because we've done that before, but we're having new people jumping on all the time. And also, it's a great kind of like recap and review of, the previous times that we discussed stuff like this. So we have a new question in from Anika. She says, I self publish prolifically. My niche areas include books, art, education, translation, and interpretation from English, Spanish, French, and Chinese. So those are her areas, and basically, so she's an author, and she publishes in various types of genres, but we can just consider her to be an author, which she is an author. So, but a self-published author, and I feel like live video can help you tremendously, especially if you don't have like a traditional publishing house. Because, and it's not even live video, but video in general. Like, I don't know, Anika, if you are planning on writing new books, but if you were to document your process of writing your book by going live and asking people what they think, or creating video of you saying, hey, I just finished my first draft of the book, or the first, chapter of the book, all of those different things. And have people, be a part of the process of you creating a book, that is like phenomenally huge. Now, I'll share with you personally, I had a client of mine that we did a book launch for. And what we did was what we call, in which I teach in my core signature program, but we did a series of master classes. And basically what the whole premise is for you to go live, take out certain chapters of your book, and provide an in-depth training of it. A lot of times, actually, the best types of live streams or things to convert are ones where it shows the old school way of teaching, of like a whiteboard or a flip chart or something like that. And as a result of doing something like that, we went live for like 3 days straight for about, 2 to 3 hours, just tackling different things. We even included interviews of people who were included in the book and all of that. We made like this whole experience and this whole show, and it really paid off because the person was able to not only sell a bunch of books, but sell services and other things based on us just conducting something as simple as that. So I definitely would recommend doing something like that. And if you want to learn how to do that, definitely sign up for my course to help you go through that, because as Lynn will attest to, we included what you call messenger bot automation to help get all of that done while we were live, so we didn't have to worry about like answering people's questions about how to buy the book or how to buy certain things. So Lynn, do you have any suggestions for people who are authors?
That was perfect for how-to authors. I mean, you want to just be, the expert and get on and talk about your topic. Now, what if you're a fiction author? Now, I have a set of books I've been reading since I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
If she was doing live video, I don't care what she was talking about. I would be on watching it and eating it up as just like I did all 6 of her novels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've read them like over and over. I've read the first book more than 10 times. Like, I'm obviously a huge fan, right? And so she got on and talked about this. These are things I would like to hear her do live on. She doesn't, though. But anyway, I would love to hear her talk about her trips to Ireland where she did, like in person, like the research of the locale, like of that was where the all the where the characters were in the book, like what she learned there, what she saw there, what it was that compelled her to include that in the book. I would love to hear her talk about certain aspects or characteristics of each character in the book, how she came up with that, or if she was torn about, would the character decide this or decide that, that kind of thing. So including me and involving me behind the scenes. Now, Netflix is an ideal example of this for fiction authors
Okay.
because you get hooked on a series. Like how many people have heard of 13 Reasons Why, for example, or if you've heard of This Is Us. Thanks, Monique. Like sucked me into my TV for what like felt like my mind just turned to mush forever. That's so good.
You love that show though.
I love that show, but here's the thing. I love that show so much that now when they put any of the characters on YouTube, I'm like, I'll drop everything to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll talk about their real life. They'll talk about their character, or they'll do fun stuff with each other. Like they'll play a game. One of the games I saw them play, for example, it was like two characters on a show. Was they did that thing where when you're texting someone and it keeps trying to tell you the next word to use,
Yeah.
and they were like having a whole conversation, letting their phones dictate like the next word or whatever. It was hilarious. So if you're a fiction author or something like that, use Netflix as an example. With the 13 Reasons Why, don't watch that series if you haven't yet. It's very disturbing. Um, they even put warnings, in front of every episode. I'm saying, but at the end of it, at the end of every season, they do these. They're not live, but they feel live to me, because they're on my TV and they're having this conversation with me.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being like the show that I'm watching, where I'm watching the show, it feels more interactive, where they're looking at the camera and they're talking about what their characters went through, and what that meant and what you should do if you're going through that. And they just have these conversations. And this was, what do you call this, kind of like a documentary style, or interview style segment they did when the series ended.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else to watch. They give you more stuff to watch. So ask yourself, in addition to reading my book, what else can I give them? What else would they enjoy, or, what have you? Now, here's the thing, though. If they've never read your book or never watched your show or whatever the case, then your video has to be something that pulls them into wanting to get them to read the book. So in that case, there's a whole series of books about, and the show is now like running in series called Outlander. That's not the right word. I can't remember the name of the show. Now I want to read all the books. I'll get on Amazon and buy every single one. Because I'm using Netflix or a movie or a show as a example, but how is that any different than internet video? It's not, in terms of me consuming it. It's not different to me. But that sold me on buying the entire series of books. I want them all on my bookshelf. I want to own them.
I love
So
that.
you get people invested in your story. You get people invested in your characters. You get people invested in your company. You get people invested in your product by seeing behind the scenes.
Yes, I love that you said that because, in fact, it reminds me of two kind of similar examples. So what Lynn is saying is kind of I'm going to piggyback off of what she's saying. Like, it's similar to Hollywood. They call them junkets. Okay, when a movie is released, that's when they have this whole launch party. So that's one idea, is kind of like doing a launch party. But a junket in Hollywood is when the actors will appear at this, release party or whatnot, red carpet style, and then they go to each of the media people that are set up to talk about the movie, to talk about the character, and it could be for several hours, hence the name of it's being called a junket. So kind of taking that idea, I had a good friend of mine. She co-authored this other book, and they did like 3 to 4 hour junket. At the time, it was on Google Hangouts. Remember, good old Google Hangouts, going live on that. But yeah, and it made sense because it had the same setup as like Zoom, where you could have several people on, but it was being live streamed at the same time. So by doing something similar with that, especially if you're having like other people involved in your book, that's a great idea. I like how Lynn said have behind the scenes, which is great. And then there was something else you said, Lynn. I can't remember now, that sparked an idea, and I was like, yeah, someone did that I know. But other than that, I mean, as an author, it's like showing so much the story behind the story. So there's the story of the book or the poem or whatnot, but what is the story behind the story? And that's what, as an author, I strongly encourage for you to focus on, for anybody who's an author and who's looking to, launch your book or get more sales or get more readers to look at their stuff.
Yeah, and it can be the same with a service or with a digital product. There's anything from screen sharing to actual face-on video or demonstrations, hands-on, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all kinds of things, people could, you could do, like you could host Q&As about the topic. So let's say, for example, that, you're a romance author, like, you write romance books, or let's say you write sci-fi books or whatever the case, then you need to draw an audience that's into sci-fi or that's into romance books or whatever that is. So you could host a live and talk about your favorite Hallmark movies. If you're, a romance author, those are the people who buy those novels. They watch the Hallmark Channel, I think. Or what do you call that other channel?
Lifetime.
Yes. I have a friend that watches that, and I'm like, not at my house. Like, I can't watch those. But anyway, so we're all different, right? Like, I like sci-fi. I dig sci-fi books. And so you can give me a romance sci-fi book. I'm totally into that. But anyway, attracting those audiences could be as fun as, going live and playing games. Like, you could do a trivia, like a sci-fi trivia, or you could do a Hallmark movie trivia, especially this time of year, or Lifetime movie trivia, or you could do like a classic romance movie trivia, like, the classic movies or whatever. But like, just having fun with it so that you attract the audience that reads your material, that buys those types of books, that will become buyers of your books, that will become your customers.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I don't see too many more questions coming in. So based on that, excuse me, is there any kind of things that we can go over, Lynn, before we wrap up this live stream? Because uh, again, I seriously think that you can literally utilize the medium of video, whether it's pre-recorded or live, for any industry whatsoever. And it's just a matter of putting on a creative hat and being strategic with it. And it's just a matter of also getting the momentum going, and in which we're going to talk about a possible solution to help you get started with that in about a week, as far as in a week's worth of content. But Lynn, is there anything that you think we could share that we haven't gone over yet in regards to utilizing video for any sort of niche out there?
I think my biggest tip, I love trivia tip that just came out of my mouth. I'm going to use that.
Okay.
I could so much fun, like I could do weekly keto trivia.
Right.
Like,
and they have the poll feature within Facebook Live. So it's like
that
you can do that and do your own trivia. Literally have your own trivia show
on Facebook Live.
On Facebook Live.
How fun is that?
Right.
That's brilliant. And interactive, talk about getting and keeping people engaged.
Right.
Yeah, so if I accidentally go to the barbecue place on trivia night, they keep me there a lot longer than they would if I just was going to eat dinner, because then I get all caught up in the trivia.
Right.
Stick around, order another drink, or you might as well, have some dessert or whatever, whereas otherwise you would have had dinner and left, so trivia is, I think, a very good idea. But my advice would be to get creative, and especially to have fun with it, to make it fun. To consider, like, what about my business could I make fun? I mean, interesting and engaging. And I just gave an example for fiction authors. So, I mean, I would say for me, that would be one of the hardest, I would think, niches to come up with content for. But live video makes it easy if you're doing something like that. And what if you don't want to be on the camera? You can still do the whole trivia thing, like your hands could be typing the whole time, writing the book, and the camera could be on that, and the poll could be interactive, and or you could do screen sharing, and you could create the presentation either in Keynote or what is it for PC that people use?
PowerPoint.
So you could create a presentation, and then so you don't have to be on face on video, but you could do screen sharing of that, and you could make a trivia thing, and have people interacting. There's so many ideas. Like if you can think, I will tell you, if you can think of a reason not to do live video in your niche, post it, leave a comment, and challenge Monique and I to come up with ideas for you, because it's fun for us to do that.
Most definitely, most definitely. And again, there's so many different things that you can do, but sometimes we need help or assistance to help get the ball started or streamline it and things like that. And with that said, what I would love to talk to you guys about is the 7-day Facebook Live challenge that's happening this week in like 2 days. I can't believe it's here already. We just wrapped up one about 2 weeks ago. Can't believe time went by just like that. With this 7-day challenge, it's the whole intention is for you to get your first sale before the end of the year holidays come, and also get 10 leads. And we're doing all that we can to set you guys up for success. There's been quite a few people who've been able to get amazing results, Lynn being one of those amazing people, and also the opportunity to utilize a lot of the features of Facebook. So, for instance, we talked about the poll. There's also the idea of doing a watch party for Facebook Live. And also, we are including Instagram Live this time as well. The focus won't be on Instagram, but there will be Instagram seated in there. So, this is the opportunity for you to get the ball rolling. As Lynn has said, and everyone else who's participated, it's all about the momentum, getting it started and maintaining it and keeping it up. And what a challenge does is it holds you accountable. When you see people are posting their stuff and getting their live streams done, because I will be prompting you to either go live within our personal community and also to push you out into the wild. Like I say, throw you in the deep end of a pool, to do it out in public, because if you don't take action, you're not going to get the results. If you're seeing people being successful with video or live video and wondering like, what do they have over me? What they have over you is that they're doing it. And so that's what I want for you all who are watching this, like, to help you get started and also to get confident in yourself, and then just keep reaping from the benefits. The end of the year, it's the end of a decade, beginning of a new one. So why not participate in something that will set you up for success? If it's something that you're definitely interested in joining, then for sure click on the link up above in the description or in the comments, because the next time that I do this, I am increasing the price. I did a small little price increase this second round, but it's going to be a significant one for the next one. So, Lynn can share with you her recent success and stuff like that, in which I think that would probably be best, Lynn, since you have been in the challenge. So it's best to hear it from someone else than from me, of course, raving about it all the time.
It is so good. And it's so much more than you think that you're signing up for, because I mean, Monique will tell you, on the page where you sign up for the challenge, you're going to get this, this, and this. You get like tons more. She's so good at delivering. And I was blown away and I'm like, I hate to say it, I'm the queen of creative ideas. I say that. I love to say that. But I'm full of creative ideas. I'm good at what I do. But the ideas I got from Monique were like, oh, why didn't I think of that? That was brilliant. And I actually got so caught up in testing that and using that, and the results from it were so amazing. And I'll tell you what it was she was teaching us how to get leads with Facebook Live or with live streaming, live video in general. Not even all of the videos that I used to get leads the way she taught us for even live video. Some of them were live, and then I took the recording, and it was the recording that really brought in the leads. So what I'm saying though is it was something I hadn't considered or hadn't thought of, and that one little thing will make all the difference in my business going forward. So the 7-day challenge it's a short challenge. It's not asking that much, but you're going to get so much in terms of results or ROI. But what it does is it gets you fired up, it gets you motivated, it gets you in the habit of doing it, it gets you over the hump of should I do it? Because you test it out, see results, you have questions, you get them answered, you have people to work with. Monique and I are both in there. I paid to join the challenge, so I'll be in there again myself. And why did I do that? Because there is absolutely like no way to actually calculate the return on investment that I've gotten from using Monique's techniques with live streaming and with video marketing. There is absolutely no way to document that because of the ripple effect, the long-term effect. Like the other day I went live in the park. We were talking about this in the last video, and I had like 5 or 6 viewers maybe at the top peak of the session. It's a short video. It's now had over 7,000 views, and I just did that
organically, guys.
I just did that less than 48 hours ago.
Mm.
Literally like 40 hours ago. But at the time that I was doing it, there weren't people on live. Nobody interacted. Nobody asked a question. Nobody commented. I think one person said, "Hi, Lynn." That was it, or whatever. And, but the results have been phenomenal. And I'm not just talking about in terms of views, because, we can't take views to the bank. I'm talking about conversions. The conversions have been fabulous. Yeah. So forget the views, don't get all caught up on the vanity metrics. At the end of the day, conversions is the only real metric that matters. And what Monique teaches you is how to get leads and how to make sales, not how to be, some vanity YouTube star or some, Instagram famous person, but how to strategically use these platforms to get leads and to make sales, period, fast. And that is what got my attention, what got me involved 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, and this week, 2 days from now. That's lots of twos. But
I love that. And the thing is, I'm glad you brought that up, Lynn, because those of you guys who are so caught up on like having thousands of views, being these major influencers and stuff, I can guarantee you that 90% of them are broke. Okay. Don't believe what you see on and this is not me hating, okay? It's just a lot of them are not familiar with the digital marketing world like Lynn and I are. And so a lot of them are, yes, they're relying on views, and as a result they may get brand deals and stuff, getting approached and stuff like that. But as far as like generating ROI and money for themselves, for their business to be sustainable, like they're not doing that. And then, Lynn has built thousands of people in a community versus myself. I only have a few hundred. Like, if you look on my fan page, I'll be transparent. I only have 250 followers, but yet I'm still able to make money and do it because I'm being strategic and I'm doing it from a business perspective. I'm not treating it as a hobby. And that goes to show you as a testimony that you don't need hundreds and thousands of followers. In fact, as the philosophy says, you only need 1,000 true fans, okay? In which, there's a whole definition behind that to really make a business sustainable. But I mean, for me, I love to show people how to do this no matter what audience size, because I'm a testimony from the smaller side of person, who has a smaller audience versus Lynn. Yes, she has a large audience, but I mean, there's people who have even larger audiences than Lynn, but they're not being strategic or making money on a consistent basis utilizing what she says. Because if you guys notice, most of the videos we're talking about, Lynn is just repeating what she says she's been doing since MySpace days, okay? Like, she doesn't change her strategy. And it's because she has the foundations in place, and you can't argue with that. And it's just a matter of using the platforms the way that they want you to use them. I love how Lynn always says that. And video is what they want you to use. So you might as well use it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because they're going to promote you for free. And I want to follow up on that because I read a really good article recently about a blogger I used to read. And she was interviewed in this article that crossed my screen for whatever reason. And let me just backtrack first and say I've been working in my niche almost 9 years.
Okay.
I built up zero. Okay, just like I started, just like everybody else, I started a new fan page, had no followers, had to go through the whole rigmarole all over again. And with Monique's challenge, what I've been doing is I have a page that I let die. I let it go stagnant, and that's on me. And I've been using it, and the results have been amazing so far. So that's been fun. But also, I want to say that 7 weeks into starting my new niche in this niche that I'm working in now for almost 9 years, 7 weeks in, I landed my first brand sponsor, site sponsor. And it wasn't for a huge amount of money. It was, like maybe 10% what I would minimally charge someone now,
Mm-hmm.
but still a decent amount of money at the time. And I was in profit. It covered, hosting for 6 to 12 months, and everything. So the business was costing me nothing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I landed that deal 7 weeks in with hardly any Twitter followers. I didn't even have an Instagram account or a Pinterest account. My site was really brand new and just getting indexed in the search engine. So it's all about focusing on the right things. So I was reading an article about a woman who also has a blog in food and health niche, but not competitive to mine. It was one that I used to read, and she had blogged for years, and she was, big on, all the platforms and well known and all the numbers. She had all the numbers, and she shut her blog down and threw it all away to go work in a local grocery store part time for minimum wage. If that tells you anything about the money she was not making to pay the bills, she said, in order to get by, she quit all of that to take a part-time job at a grocery store making minimum wage. If that tells you the money she was not making.
Right.
Like, really drive that point home. I was in shock reading this article. I'm like, do you have any idea the gold mine you were sitting on? But views do not pay the bills. You cannot cash views at the bank.
No, you
And
cannot. You can't.
yeah, those numbers, those vanity metrics do not matter unless you are just into a vanity hobby.
Right.
And so if you really want to focus on conversions, and you do not even have to have 1,000 true fans. I love that saying or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still a little bit out of reach for a lot of people. I literally was less than 2 months into getting my blog set up when I landed, a deal, a monthly sponsorship deal. And that was not just about the money I made on that deal alone.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I over delivered for that sponsor, for that brand, so much so that I was able to create an amazing media kit saying, this is what I can do for you. So the next person who came to me, I charged them double. Then I doubled my rates again, and I kept doubling my rates over the years. But it's a matter of, how am I building my business and building my audience and consistently working on that, but always focusing on, this is a business. I'm in business to sell products or sell services or sell myself or whatever the case is, and focusing on the strategies that get leads and make sales. That's where I fell short even. Like I could go live and, and do affiliate promotions, demonstrate products, which I was talking about earlier. Those product demos convert, but for me, I fell short on using it for lead generation, which has been fascinating for me during Monique's challenge. That alone, as you well know, getting 10 leads or getting 10 new email subscribers or getting 10 new Instagram followers is far more valuable than making 10 affiliate sales.
Boom. With that said, I think we should end the show with that because you are so right, Lynn. I, yeah. And that's why the whole intention of the 7-day Facebook Live challenge, I say get your first sale, but also your 10 leads. Some of you guys are probably wondering why that number. There's no specific reason why I said that number, but I feel like that's a great starting point. But leads is what you always want to have coming in all the time. Not all the time will you have the possibility to get that direct sale from going live. And so you want to at least start the relationship by getting a lead and then continue and nurture that relationship so that then you'll get 10 sales. Like, in fact, I love the fact that Lou Bartone, Lynn, other people who I've recently showcased, in which you guys, if you're following me, you're going to start seeing it all over the place this week. I've already started already. Um, is that, a lot of the success stories from the previous challenge not only got sales, but they got leads. So double whammy, met both goals, and continue continue to get leads and sales from those same live streams, because once it happens, it continues to happen unless you cut it off, turn it off, delete it from your fan page or wherever you go live. It's like an ATM machine going off in the morning. You see, oh, I made some new sales. Okay. And it was from the live video I did 2 weeks ago, or in Monique's 7-day, Facebook Live challenge.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's huge because, like a lot of people are like, oh, I did it. Nobody responded and I didn't make any sales. You go check your thing, but you're doing it immediately. That's kind of like if you send out an email and you go look at the stats at the open rate right after you send out the email. Well, people haven't had a chance to get it yet.
Right.
Like you got to give it some time to accumulate results. And so for me, for example, I was day before yesterday when I went live, because I'm getting all excited about this upcoming challenge. I'm trying to get ahead of it. So I went live and I made sales after the fact or whatever. I didn't have that many live viewers and nobody really asked me questions about the products I was talking about while I was live. But still today, this afternoon, this morning, still today, like it was 2 days ago when I did this, people are asking me, yeah, I want that deal. How do I get it? Or what have you. And that's an amazing thing. So I was really shocked at the amount of interest in a product I brought up randomly that wasn't even like the main topic of the video that I was doing or what have you. The amount of interest in the amount of sales that have happened since the live video, not during it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cumulative effect. And you also want to go back, go to Monique's fan page and look for where we talked about SMO or social media optimization. And every live stream you do, go back into your video library and re-optimize it. I've been doing that lately. So I'm going into my library and making sure older videos are optimized properly, because they will get in front of people now. If you need to add a title, I realized I didn't add a title on half of them, and then put the right words in that title or whatever. They're going to get rotated in front of people as they're watching one video. Facebook is going to recommend another one. Make sure it's yours.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it. All right, well, we're going to wrap up this live stream. If you're just now joining us and you have a specific industry that you want Lynn and I to brainstorm on, be sure to leave them in the comments down below, even if you're watching this on the replay. In the meantime, in between time, if you're like, okay, Monique and Lynn, I see what you're saying. I want to get started. How can I get started with doing this? I highly recommend checking out the 7-day Facebook Live challenge that we're hosting for this month. You can see the link either up above this video or down below. Be sure to join us. You'll get a whole bunch of bonuses in addition to the opportunity to win one of the 3 grand prizes that we have in store for you guys. And in the meantime, and as always, Lynn, thank you so much for taking out the time. I love the fact that you do brainstorming sessions. In fact, you're about to go do one for your business very, very soon. And I'm sure, people who attend that love it as well. But as Lynn says, she's very creative when it comes to coming up with ideas, especially when it comes to social media and integrating video. And like she walks her talk, okay? Like she does what she preaches. And all you have to do is just follow her. You can follow her at Low Carb Traveler. She definitely is a major authority in the ketogenic lifestyle, not diet, but lifestyle space, because Lynn definitely preaches that, and I just love how she puts her spin of it as far as, going to restaurants and doing junk food and stuff like that, junk food, and still be able to maintain ketosis. So I love that. So thank you so much, Lynn, for taking out the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I loved this. We talked about such creative niches. Like, I think fiction authors and also like nonfiction authors. I think those are two tough ones. And then Natalie's niche, with working with babies and the whole, issue of getting permission. And I would definitely do that on paper. Like we had some really challenging ones today, but
Yeah.
consider that like for your business. And I would love for you to challenge Monique and I, like I said before, even if you're watching the replay, leave us a comment. We will come back and give you answers. We're all about like helping you, figure out how to use this for your business. I'm always like coming up with, like I said, in Monique's last challenge, bam, I came up with like so many new ideas for constantly like getting leads. And when I say leads, I'm talking about, do I want more Instagram followers? Do I want more live stream views? Do I want more people on my actual email list? Obviously, yes. Do I want more people in my Facebook group? Like, where do I want, like, take these people and put them here, so that I can interact with them on this level or whatever. Like, the concept of leads just blew up in my head and I have ran with it. Then she teaches you the strategy behind that. It was something I hadn't thought of doing. And so as soon as I saw that in the challenge, I flipped on the camera and went for it. And bam, I was like, look at those results. Yeah, so that was good. But anyway, join us. Like if you are on the fence, just join us. If you are scared about doing video, just join us. Stop sitting on the sidelines watching everyone else do it or not do it. And here's the thing, most people are scared to pull that trigger, meaning push the start button, go live button or whatever. Most people are afraid to do it. Most people are too lazy to do it. Most people won't take the time to do it. Most people don't think to do it. You will stand apart and stand out in your niche so much more if you do it and do it creatively, or if you just do it, period. Like that, because so many people are not doing it. So that's like, you want to be the person that is. That's all.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining us either live on the replay, and we hope to see you in the challenge.